It's already been 2 years and we almost put 18,000 miles on this 2024 Rivian R1S Launch Edition. And I'm gonna tell you everything about it, the good, the bad, everything. And I will let you know if I would recommend this vehicle to my friends or not. One of the features that we really love about this car is the looks. It looks great. And I mean, the front with those cool eyes is really good looking and a little bit different, so we love that. The back end looks actually very similar to some other SUVs in a similar size. Obviously those other SUVs are ICE, internal combustion engine vehicles, but looks very similar in the back. But overall, we love the looks of our Rivian R1S. The rims are the 22-inch rims in this case. You can get this vehicle with standard 21-inch rims, then you can go for a 20-inch or a 22. We personally prefer the 22 for the looks. Obviously, this is not the rim you want to take off-roading, but we don't really do off-roading. We take it up and down a log road here and there as we are in rural Montana, but we're not really ever took this vehicle off-roading. And we love the look of the bigger rims way better than the 21s or even the 20s. So that was another really nice feature here, having the big 22-inch rims. As you can see right now, the vehicle is totally down. Well, not totally, it's in its kneeling position, which is for getting in and out. It doesn't lower all the way on all four corners for its kneeling position. It actually kind of levels this out. I'm not sure why, because it's really not in the lowest position it could be. Right now, you don't really see a gap there, so this can go up due to the air suspension, right? Which is really nice. But now thinking air suspension, you would think super comfortable ride. Unfortunately not. They messed up the suspension. We have this set to soft and it rides hard. We don't even want to try how it would ride if you were setting it to hard. The ride comfort is really not there in regards to the suspension. And you know, many people say, well, why don't you put the 20-inch rims on, then you have more tire. Well, the tire is not supposed to be your suspension. The vehicle has air suspension. It could ride soft, but it does not. And so that kind of sucks. That was a disappointment. And Rivian knows about this. And I was under the impression they probably could fix that via a software update, because it's air suspension, but they have this hydraulic shock absorbing system or whatever it's called. It's one of those weird things. And I think the problem lies in there because those are given sizes of orifices of valves that let the oil go through at a certain speed, and there is just a limitation mechanically there, and I think that's why they can't make it any softer. The problem is also this is a shorter wheelbase than the Rivian R1T, the truck, and shorter wheelbases always ride a little different than a longer wheelbase. A longer wheelbase is a little bit more comfortable. So you have to adapt the suspension, and Rivian literally took it from the R1T, put it in the R1S without any changes, and it's not great at all. It's one of the things we really hate. If we actually go from this to the Cybertruck is super comfortable. This is as hard, if not even harder, than our Model 3, Tesla Model 3 or Tesla Model S that we have. So. And this should be super soft with the air suspension. Also, the air suspension, as I mentioned before, it's in kneeling mode, which it's still relatively high. You can see we have running boards on here. These running boards came from EV Base. There's a link down below in the description. There's also a discount code. So these changed everything for us because we really struggle to get in and out, even in kneeling position. So even right now, if I want to skip that, I gotta, this leg is totally stretched out to barely get over onto the seat here. And I'm the tallest one in the family. We're all a little bit vertically challenged, but my wife or my daughter, they literally struggle to get in here, right? There's no handle here on the front where you could pull yourself up. There's a handle up at the top, but it really doesn't work to pull yourself into the vehicle. So these running boards are a must-have because this makes it easy. We can just step on and get in real easy, and same thing with getting out. So running boards, a must-have, 100%. Yeah, this was a life changer. Before, we were at a point so frustrated with getting in and out of here, we didn't really know what to do. Came across those running boards, and that solved that issue. So you gotta have running boards. As I said, they came from EV Base. There's a link down below in the description. There's a discount code down there that you can use as well. So if you have a Rivian R1S, you need running boards. Overall, this vehicle is a good size. It could maybe be a few inches longer, as this has 7 seats. So there are fold-up seats or fold-down seats here in the back. We usually have them down unless we need them. Once in a while we do need them. The problem is if you have tall people, even, you know, talking teenagers, you have a load of teenagers, your soccer team, basketball team, or whatever, track and field, that's what our daughter does, and then you gotta haul all these kids around. Well, the nice thing is this second row at least can be adjusted forward, but obviously that leaves less leg room here, so then the driver and passenger also move forward. So everybody basically moves forward, and at the end, everybody has barely enough room, is just okay, but not comfortable anymore. If you don't need the seats in the back, and you can have your second row here all the way back, then you have plenty of leg room there. Even with the seats the way they are right now, they're in driving position pretty far back. I have my seat relatively far back for driving. So you can see there's still plenty of room there. So for 5 people, great. For 4 people, even better. For more than 5, it can get a little tricky. If you have small kids in the back, no problem. But if you want to stuff adults back there, it's stuffy. Another issue with the back seat, actually it's not really an issue, but you gotta know about it. So this is your center console where you can put your arm. No extra room here. If you want to put your arm there like this, then your cup, if you have a cup there or a bottle, you're kind of in the way, you gotta hold your arm off to the side. You can't go like this. That's one of the things. There should be a little more room, but also right now, as you can see, this looks nice and level the way it's supposed to be, but you can also see the seats are leaning relatively far back. If someone wants to adjust those to a more upright position, I see if I can do this here. There we go. So if someone wants a more upright position like with this here, see what happened to the center console. And so this center console is not adjustable. The backrest here is adjustable, but then the center console drops down, which, well, depends on what you want. Do you want to use the center console or you want the backrest in a certain position? You gotta choose one or the other. If you're lucky, like over there, you could still adjust this one if you only have one person, and then the center console is not affected. But here, if you do the driver's side seat, then the center console will go down with it, which is kind of dumb that it's not adjustable. It can't be brought up, or even better if it would mechanically be done so that it would actually stay level all the time. Getting into the back is not too terrible. You just press the release up here that slides the seat forward, tilts the backrest forward, and you can get in here. As you can see, we have the seats folded down at this point, but getting in is not too terrible. But yeah, legroom is relatively minimal. As you can see, there's the headrest is actually against where the seat is. So there's very little room. You can stick your feet under there, so that gives a little bit more room. But as I said, you will have to usually move seats forward in order for these passengers back here to be somewhat comfortable. One of the great things is that you have a rear screen here where you can control quite a few things. So that is nice. You have your air vents right there. You have charging options right there. There's a seat pocket where you can put stuff in. There's a coat hook, and there's another USB port up there. And I think there's an accessory you can buy that hangs off the coat hook for like a tablet or something. And then you can plug the tablet in there. And so like your kids could watch whatever on their tablet or play or something like that. Being back here, obviously it's pretty spacious. With the glass roof, you get a cool view looking up the front and out while you're driving. You got your handles up here if you need to hold on. Depends on the driver, I guess. So overall, it is pretty comfortable back here. One of the things is the door handle is down here. It is kind of hard to, if you grab it this way, then it's a bit hard to push the door out. So you kind of grab it this way and push the door here with your arm. It is a bit tight to slide in here. You kind of got to move your body over a little bit to do so. Down here is a pocket, and yeah, you can barely see it, but it's my hand barely fits through between the door and the seat to get to the pocket, and I can't really grab anything out of the pocket. Let me show you how this looks like here. This is so the seat is going to be right here, and so you got this little narrow gap, and then you have this pocket here. So this pocket is cool to put stuff in, as long as you don't need it while driving, because you can't really get to any other pockets actually. Not just in the back seat, but also in the front seats. They're very difficult to get to, as well as the door handle is even a bit worse in the front seat maybe here. So it's pretty tight again to get in there. And again, the pocket down here is kind of hard to get to. So, and there's another problem with those pockets. Since the beginning, we had a problem with these pockets, and that is, you can see it here. It pulls out in the back, but it sticks in the front. And now it's completely stuck. Sometimes you can pull it out, but all four pockets have done that. This one on the back here has gotten better. This one is still stuck, and I think that one's still stuck too on one side. And yeah, I mean, they did a pre-delivery inspection and they haven't noticed this or haven't fixed it. I don't know. Talking about doors and door handles, this door here, driver's side door, second rear door, wouldn't open from the inside as we received it. Again, a lack of pre-delivery inspection. And it was not like the child safety or anything. We tried that for and back multiple times. This door never worked, the other door did. So luckily this got fixed at some point. So but until then, I always had to get out and open the door from the outside if we had a passenger sitting back there. We do really love our color combination of the Launch Edition green and the forest green interior. So we love this color combination. Obviously it's kind of matching. It's really cool, so we really like that. These are nice colors. We like this green much better than the forest green that is available. So this is Launch Edition green and was only supposed to be used once. That's what they said. But since it has come back twice now, so yeah, we were kind of hoping to have a original vehicle, a Launch Edition R1S, and well, they brought it back. They actually brought this whole vehicle back again, a R1S quad motor. Yeah, that was kind of disappointing anyway, because this is the original R1S quad motor, and then they brought it back again with the Launch Edition green, and that was kind of disappointing. And now they also brought out the R2 with the Launch Edition green, even though initially when we chose that color, they said this will be the only time this color is used, and then it'll be gone. Well, whatever. Yeah, we like the looks of it. The back end looks good here. You got a tow hitch down there. We took the cover off because we tow every so often, so we don't want to deal with the cover, because the cover kind of sucks to put on and take off, so we just left it off. Windshield wiper back here is okay, but you can see most of the window is not wiped. So it's a relatively small wiper. At least you get to see something. Here the store situation is okay. It's super nice to have these bright lights up here. That really lights up this area at night, so that is great. We love that. And while it's obviously raining or something, you can be under here. This second lower gate here kind of sucks in a way, because it's not powered to close. So as we close this, as we bring this up and close it normally, then it doesn't, now it did nicely actually, but quite frequently as you just close it there, you can see here, there we go. So it doesn't close nicely as it did the first time here today. Ah, there we go. See, it usually sticks like that, or sticks, it just doesn't close to the second position. So if this would be a power close, then that would be much nicer. It would suck it in every time, because it happened multiple times that we close it, but it just goes to that first position. Then you come up here and press the button, and it just beeps at you and doesn't close, because this is power up here, right? But this, if this is not all the way closed, then this will not close. So if this would have a power, at least a soft close where it sucks it in, even if you have to lift it up, that would be fine, but a soft close that sucks it in would be nice. But unfortunately it doesn't. So yeah, that was a common issue, that you press the button up here and the tailgate doesn't come down. So here's the back. As I said, we got the seats down most of the time. You get this much room with the seats up, not very much. We usually need a little bit more. Here will be more storage for passengers in the back. This little loop there is actually a seat belt loop or hook right there, so that the seat belts are further forward. That is really nice. Then we have this. This would be for like a cover here. There was never a cover. I don't know why put this in. We get a Launch Edition, we should have everything. Well, we don't have. I don't know if they actually even made one or not. Also nice is we got air outlets here in the back for the third row passengers, so that is a good thing to have. They also in front of the opening there, there's a cup holder, and inside there, I don't know if you can see that, there is a USB-C. So that part is pretty cool. Back here to drop these seats down right there. There we go. So you can drop the seats down from here. So these seats here are manual and you got to push them down, but these up there are power going down but not up. And if you can see that the passenger side didn't go all the way down because the headrest was hitting that other seat. So that is kind of they missed something there. It just didn't work right. They should have made sure that when they fall down, the headrest is out of the way, or the seat moves forward or something. So that can be a little tricky. Then we got the 120 power outlet and a 12 volt power outlet there. That is fine. If you want to power your house with this, this ain't gonna work. We tried it. The inverter keeps shutting down. You can plug stuff into this outlet and power certain appliances or whatever, but you can't feed the whole house. We tried that and it wouldn't work. It would just shut down on us. Down below here we got the compressor. we have never used this compressor, never. This is the auxiliary compressor, by the way. There's a second compressor for the air suspension. So this is only for inflating your tires. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the tire kit right there. So we got a little more storage under here. Also, this is for the people that want to sleep flat. They said you bring that up here. Well, it's still not flat, it drops down, but otherwise it goes under there. So yeah, nice is the sliding hooks. I don't think they have that anymore. They got rid of those. They were, I guess, too much money, but that's kind of neat. If you actually need the hooks, you can slide them, and that's on both sides. Honestly, we never even use the hooks either, so so much for that. I guess it's nice if you need them, but if you don't, you don't. Yeah, so what else we got here? Well, the other side is as sturdy as the driver's side. Overall, same thing here. Door handles are really no issue. We haven't had any issues with the door handles. Mirrors work fine, all that stuff. They seem a bit big, kind of big overall. Also, a funny thing is with like the cameras here, so we got wherever you got cameras, whatever cameras are used that you will see inside on the screen, or when you watch the videos of, actually, is it, oh no, we got a screen, we got the door open, but well, yeah, that little monster keeps coming up. But yeah, if it records someone around your vehicle, it always looks a little bit like fish eye, and the corners are cut off, so that's kind of odd. Also, there is a light under the mirror here shining on the ground, and it's got the Rivian logo, which is cool at night. The problem is when the mirror folds in, the light folds in with it, right? So it's the mirror has to be out for that to shine properly on the ground. So kind of odd. Neat little feature. You always have a flashlight here. We used to have that way back when in our Chrysler Town & Country minivan too. We had a flashlight in the back. You don't use it very often, but it comes in handy at times. Another thing we got is the speaker here. We used it once. It's not, I don't know that you really need this. Maybe for certain people that will be something good. We used it once, it worked for a certain amount of time, not very long, and then it quit. We don't know if it was because of the speaker or because of the phone that it was connected to. We were not that much interested in keeping it going, so we just put it away again. This here is a wireless charging pad from Handshow, and there's also a link down below in the description, and I think we have a discount code for them as well. So these never worked, and Rivian knew about it. They don't care. They don't replace it under warranty. They didn't come up with something better. So charging pads and all these first generation R1s suck. This is a replacement here from Handshow aftermarket. This actually works. It also, this one has additional USB-C outlets, USB-A outlet right there, and you can change the color here around that. So yeah, go down below, Handshow. There is a link and a discount code down there for that. So that is another must-have, just like the running boards, because yeah, the other one that was in here from Rivian doesn't work. And the sad part is they don't care. It's not like they, if they would have said, okay, we make a better one and we'll put that in for you if you want to as a warranty item or whatever, that would have been nice, but that's unfortunately not what they did. Overall, the interior is nice, and many people like the screen in front of the steering wheel. I don't really care about it. For me, a screen over here is plenty. Problem with this is obviously as you put your hand somewhere on the wheel, you block some of that depending on your seating position. You may not see all of it. So that is a personal preference. Overall, the display is really nice. And the funny thing is we're inside right now and it is pretty bright in here. It's not dark, but this is in dark mode. It goes to dark mode very early, it seems like. But well, that's okay. But yeah, overall the display is nice. Everything is nice to me. There's information overload on this display at some times. Everything pops up and this comes up and that comes up, and I don't need to know that much. So, but that is personal preference. If you like it, that is fine. Like I said, to me, this is plenty here. Overall, this user interface is, in my opinion, slow. Compared to our Teslas, it is slow. It does also weird things where I do stuff on here and it shows that it changed. Like ride height, we have this little icon right there for ride height. I can change the ride height over here and it switches, but there it stays for like another 10 seconds or longer. It's kind of weird. Overall, this UI here is, I don't know, to me not very intuitive. I don't drive this car all the time. My wife is mostly driving it. My daughter drives it at times and I drive it at times, but I always kind of struggle to find things. As you're switching things around, everything goes a little slow, has a little lag. It's a little odd at times. And I don't know, it's a little cluttered too. I just struggle a little bit with this. Luckily, I don't have to do much. I prefer set it and forget it. And unfortunately, that's not necessarily the thing with the Rivian. You have to get in and change this and change that. And like this metal screen, multiple layers here. Why multiple layers? I don't know. So if I want to set the schedule now, I have to go over here. Now I don't see the level anymore. Also, we found issues between the app and this. I changed something here. It doesn't change in the app, even though they both have connection. We found location issues with the app. There just been quite a few issues with this that we didn't expect, especially since Rivian said we are a tech company. And now, even after they had their Autonomy Day, and they're saying what kind of tech company they are. Well, I'm sorry, but the tech in this first generation is really bad and it doesn't update. It's not really getting better. There were updates and things improved, but one of the things like seat heat right there, right? I mean, what? I gotta switch all this manually. This is like unbelievable. We had a 2020 Chevy Bolt EV. It had fully automatic steering wheel heat and seat heat. You just got in, it automatically turned it on, it automatically lowered it and turned it off eventually, and it felt always comfortable. And the Chevy Bolt EV is like a cheap car compared to this. And this here is a high-end car, and this is from 2022. Even let's say in 21 when they started production with the R1T, this was a feature that should have been in here, and to this day it's not, and that sucks. Also, last summer we experienced quite frequently, you want cooling seats, you tap the cooling seat, let's see here. So there we go. So you tap the cooling seat and it turned the heat on. That was a problem we had too. I don't know. This may have been solved now with one of the updates, but there's just so many things in here that on this UI that are really not that great. Let's talk about autonomy on this vehicle, because autonomous cars and Rivian had their Autonomy Day or whatever it was called, and well, this vehicle was supposed to drive for us, at least on the interstate, on the highway. Unfortunately, it does not. It doesn't really have autonomy. There's really no autonomous driving here. This is more just ADAS, advanced driver assistance systems, like adaptive cruise control, where it will slow down if there's a car in front of you, if you're set on cruise control. It has the lane centering, the lane keep. It will do basically auto steer for you on the interstate. But It doesn't do it very nicely. It's pretty jerky. Also, quite frequently we have to take over because it just starts drifting off. And if you don't take it, it may actually correct in the last second and really jerk you and potentially makes the situation even worse. If it at least would work all the time, that's one thing, but we experienced so many times you come onto a bridge, or you come on the highway, you run onto a bridge deck, and the bridge deck, the pavement has, it may be concrete or the pavement has different color. So the lines appear to be a little bit different, even if they're there and visible to us. The car aborts its auto steer, which really sucks. Even if there wouldn't be any lines, I mean, usually you can see across, we're talking short bridges, nothing long. The car should be able to see the other end of the bridge where the lines are and really should be able to make it across there without an issue. But no, in general, it shuts down. And okay, even if I accept that, well, it actually shuts down for no reason. I don't know, all the time. So there's hardly ever a drive, even just 20 miles on the interstate to town, it will usually shut down at least once for no reason. All of a sudden you have red steering wheel, take over, and there's nothing there, no reason. And as soon as you take over, you can re-engage, no problem. So yeah, it's weird. Also, sometimes we get on the interstate and we usually use the auto steer feature there, and we get on and we try to enable it and it says, oh, we can't enable it here. This highway is not mapped or something like that. It's like, what? I mean, the other day it worked, now it don't work. And this happened a few times, not as many as the shutdowns. The shutdowns are so bad, it's unbelievable. And sometimes when it shuts down, then you say, okay, I'm done with the auto steer part, I'm just using the cruise control. It does the same thing with the cruise control. And on the last road trip, my wife was driving. She was so annoyed, she was ready to get rid of this thing here. It is annoying. So this car really doesn't have any autonomy. It has ADAS that barely works. And in one video, someone told me, well, don't compare it to a Tesla or you will never be happy. And the person was actually trying to say that Rivian is really good and I should not compare it to a Tesla. Well, he actually just said the opposite. You know, he didn't realize that, I guess. But, well, how about I compare it to a Kia EV, the Niro EV in specifically, because we rented one, a 2024 Kia Niro EV. And we were in Florida and we rented it, and I didn't know what all it had. I assumed it has some ADAS features, right? Well, it had everything this vehicle has. It had the adaptive cruise control, the lane keep, the lane centering, the auto steer. It had everything. This here is a $100,000 vehicle. The Kia Niro EV is what, half that? And it had everything. And it worked. It worked. So there was no problem, day or night, traffic, no traffic, 2 lanes, 5 lanes, never an issue. It always worked. It came to a standstill, it started going again, everything worked. And not just on the highway, I could engage it on surface streets. So there are, Miami area, there are lots of roads. Obviously we got 2 lanes going the same direction, and it's not an interstate or a freeway, it's just the road, right? And I can engage it and it works. This I cannot even engage unless I'm on a mapped road on an interstate. And the Kia, it was amazing. I didn't even know it could do all that. And so I don't even have to compare this to a Tesla. If I compare this, what this can do to a Tesla, then this is trash. This is what Tesla done 6 years ago, more than 6 years ago. This is what Tesla done in 2019, 7 years ago. But the Kia, that was a 2024 Kia Niro EV, and it did all of this way better, and they did it everywhere. So yeah, autonomy, no. ADAS, yes, but auto steer lacks, adaptive cruise control lacks, and we're never gonna get the autonomy that the second generation R1S gets. We're not even gonna get that. And we bought this Launch Edition, this super duper thing that was promised to be everything, and it's not. So, yeah, I gave you a little insight here. There's many more things I could talk about, but overall, if you look at the prices of these for used, they have dropped drastically, and there's a specific reason for that, and probably I mentioned that reason or all these different reasons. This vehicle is not what it was promised to be. It's way less than that. So would I recommend this vehicle to a friend? To be honest, no. If my friends would say, hey, should I buy this? I would say no. I would figure out what they really want, what they really need, and what their budget is, because this is so expensive. Even used still, it is expensive. No. If you go for a second generation, maybe. Second generation is a little bit better. It looks the same, basically. And you can get a quad motor Launch Edition second generation. We don't even want to talk about that. That was such a disappointment. That they make this again because they messed up with this one. Then they make it again, and all of us that were OGs early on given money are left behind. So very disappointing there. So this vehicle, if you have the money, if you don't mind spending 50 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand on a used, and if you don't mind dealing with basically not really a high-end car. It's not a high-end car. It has nice finishes, it looks good, but it doesn't have the features that it's supposed to have. So it really depends. If this would be your first EV, maybe, because if it's your first EV, you will be impressed by the performance that this vehicle has. You will be impressed because it's quiet. You will be impressed by so many things. Yeah, maybe. But overall, no, I will not recommend this to my friends unless they really desperately need this combination, because nobody else really has this. You can get a Hummer EV or a Cadillac. Now I can't even remember the name. It's basically a Suburban. It's just a Cadillac, but it's an EV. They're a little bit more money. They have a much larger battery, or even heavier than this. But obviously the Cadillac is fully loaded. I mean, it's amazing. The Hummer is pretty good loaded, and we're talking GM, like I said, like the Chevy Bolt. Back in 2020 had automatic heated seats. So these cars will have a little bit more, but they're more money, they're heavier, they're not necessarily, they're also bigger, they're not necessarily what one wants. But yeah, this as a used, an R1 first generation, I would not buy it again, and I would not recommend to buy one used. I would say go for a second generation, or at this point now the R2 just came out, maybe wait another year or two and then buy an R2. That would be another option. Yeah, but first generation R1S, nah. We bought this with the intention to keep it for 10 years, but we really struggle at this point. My wife struggles whenever we get into the Tesla, and the Tesla full self-driving works flawless. And it's comfortable, it's not as hard as this. Then, yeah, she wants another vehicle. We like the looks of it, we like the color combo that we have here. We like so many things basically about it. It fits the need, but it's disappointing. So, you know, as I said, if you're coming from a gas car and you're getting into this, yes, you probably will like it if you turn around your vehicles every few years anyway. So yeah, get in it, drive this for 3 years and then sell it. You'll be okay. Like I said, our plan was to keep this for 10 years, and now we're 2 into it, so we got 8 to go. And if we would turn around every 3 years, then I would say, yeah, we got 1 year to go. What do we care, right? Maybe we will get an R2 a year from now or something. Yeah. But overall, not huge fan of the vehicle. Not a huge fan of the company. We also we were promised mobile service. Mobile service showed up once here. Mobile service is supposed to be for the people that are far away from a service center. I guess Rivian doesn't understand that, because they service people close to the service center that actually could come in. That doesn't make any sense, because they need to service the people that are far away. And even our closest, or our in-state service center is still like over 200 miles away. Actually, it's further away than the Tesla service center that's not in Montana. We got to drive 3 states to get to Tesla service center, but we're about 30 miles closer or so than the service center here in state for Rivian. And that service center still hasn't come here to fix things. And the one time we took it there, they didn't even do our entire list, which was very disappointing. So, yeah, overall, it has been a disappointing journey with this vehicle. There's definitely many good things about it. It's been reliable. It hasn't shut down on us. But it's not there yet. So, second generation we test drove is quite a bit better. Has some changes. The second generation R1 that we're talking about is quite a bit better. And will have more autonomous feature than this. This one will never have the autonomy of the second generation R1. So the second generation is a little bit different animal. So you might want to go for a second generation used, or you can still buy it new. Or if you want it a little smaller, you can go for an R2. I would make sure if you get one of those, you should be within a reasonable distance to a service center. Like I said, it seems like the mobile service, they're not willing to go far for their customers. Unlike Tesla. Tesla comes out here at least once a month in this area with the mobile service. So that's been amazing, while the mobile service, like I said, came out here once about a year after we called because of the recall. And they said, well, we collect more vehicles in your area and then we come out to do this recall. I mean, we would have had other stuff that they could have done, but they said, no, we're just coming to do this. So this was disappointing. So, yeah, overall, no, I would not recommend the first generation R1 to my friends. I would probably not buy another one. A first gen, probably not even a second generation R1. At this point, we have to keep this anyway. So as we're going forward, hopefully more other manufacturers will come up with products similar to this. And that's maybe what we end up with. We have looked heavily at the Cadillac that is basically the Chevy Suburban, right? But as a Cadillac, I mean, if it wouldn't be, it's $150,000, and it's heavy. It's about 2,000 or 3,000 pounds heavier than this. It has a huge battery. It has huge range. It has over 400 miles of range, and it is a luxury car. It's fully loaded. I know the heated seats are automatic. I know all the ADAS functions work. So I don't know. If we come into some money, we may actually buy a Cadillac. I doubt it, though, that we come into the money to buy it. So at this point, we keep this because even though we got it at the before 2021 price increase, it was still expensive. And at this point, if we would sell it or trade it in, we could never recoup the money. We would have a huge loss, more loss than it really should have. So yeah, if you want something to take off-roading, this may be your thing. Put the 20-inch wheels on it, go off-roading with it. They're cheap. beat it up. Who cares, right? Because they're not that much money anymore. If you're looking for a family vehicle to go on road trips, road being the keyword, not off-road, probably not a first generation R1. All right. Sorry to tell you the sad truth. We were really excited about this vehicle when we got it. Unfortunately, between Rivian and the company not really providing the service that one would expect, and the vehicle really not being that great for that much money, and being promised more than what we really got. So we're not so excited anymore at this point at all. If Tesla would make a Cyber SUV, we probably would purchase a Cyber SUV, because the Cybertruck does pretty darn good. Pretty happy with it. So yeah, well, sorry, that's the sad truth. So your circumstances may be a little bit different anyway. You may drive on nicer roads, so then the hard suspension doesn't really matter. You may be closer to a service center, so it doesn't matter. You can stop in at any time and get things fixed. There are some advantages and disadvantages depending on your location. You may not care about the autonomy at all, about the auto steer. You may care about the adaptive cruise control. That also doesn't work half the time, just like the auto steer. Range is great, efficiency is great. Yeah, there's the good and the bad. So, well, that's about it. We can go into way more detail if you want to know all the features of these vehicles. We have other videos where we showed the features. We have the first video after we took delivery. And if you watch that, you'll notice I'm very excited. But then just watch all our Rivian videos and you will notice pretty quick that we actually had our struggles with Rivian. We have road trip videos with this. We towed with this. Go watch those videos to get more information on all that stuff if you're interested in towing with an R1S. There's a bunch of Rivian videos that we have, so go watch all of those videos to get all the information. Then you can build your own opinion. Obviously, our opinion is a bit negative, and I didn't want to be negative, but I'm sorry, it hasn't worked out the way it was supposed to be. As I said, go down below in the description. There is a link for EV-based running boards and the discount code. There's a link for the Hansshow Wi-Fi wireless charger here. There should be a discount code for Hansshow as well. Both companies also have other accessories for Rivians and Teslas and so on. So go check them out. We just installed a grill protector here from EV Base in the front there, so not all the bugs get in to the radiator. There's stuff like that, so go check that out too. And I hope I can give you a better update in a couple more years and say the car is still as good as it is now without any further issues, because as we're going down the road long term, there may be more issues coming up. But hopefully in a couple years or so, a 4-year review, we can tell you, no, it's still the same. Or maybe we can even tell you, Rivian updated this and did that and is now even better. So, well, make sure to give us a thumbs up for this video. I know this was a sad video and you want to give us a thumbs down, but this is the truth. This is real life. This is not, we're not just journalists, and we're not invited to these big parties that auto manufacturers throw, and then they have to sign an agreement or whatever. We can say whatever we want. We can tell you the truth. So most YouTubers, big YouTubers, they can't really tell you the truth. They tell you some stuff, but mostly they tell you the good stuff and they make the bad stuff look good. But I'm sorry, it ain't that great first generation R1. So, but anyway, give us a thumbs up, please. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the future videos. Like I said, we'll update you more on this vehicle if we have good news or bad news, we'll bring it to you. So, and you get to see it, but hit the notification bell so you get notified when those videos come out. In any event, thank you for watching. Goodbye.